WestgateCars.com High School Hoops, the playoff edition, presented by West Shore Home, Fuquay, Varina, and Millbrook in the Sweet 16. We're masked up. Patrick Johnson along with Jason Alder. Welcome in to historic Wildcat Gymnasium. It's a place that Millbrook is virtually unbeatable the last 3 seasons. And even though in this Sweet 16 and in the playoffs this year, because of the way they did the seeding, there's no Cinderella story, I doth protest, because for Fuquay Varina, first time in a generation they're in the playoffs. They advanced to the second round. It's a great story. They had their hands full of the Wildcats tonight, Sonny.
Yeah, Fuquay 11-2 on this season. They've done it because they've been so balanced. Now Millbrook undefeated. Fuquay is going on the road with the superstar power of Millbrook. This is going to be a tough matchup. The thing I'm going to watch tonight is going to be the pace of this ballgame. Fuquay wants to slow it down. Millbrook wants to play up tempo.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, who do you have, Jay, in your players to watch?
Well, for Fuquay Varina, Sheck Samora has been outstanding this season. 16 points per game. He's getting college attention from recruiters. He can score at a high level. He can also hit the glass and rebound. The coaching staff really appreciates his leadership in the decision-making out on the court, getting his teammates involved. And for Millbrook, Louisville commit Eric Vanderheiden, he's one of the top 3-point shooters in the country, one of the best players in the country. The Louisville coaches are getting a good one. He's going to stretch out that defense. He's 6'9". He can also put it on the floor and get to the rim. Very athletic player, but it's going to be a fun inside and outside matchup between those two.
All right, Sonny, what are the keys to the game?
Well, Fuquay is going to have to get back in transition defense. Millbrook is going to play up tempo, and Fuquay has to rebound. Millbrook wants to create turnovers and set the pace. They want to push it up the floor and really get this up into the 80s or the 90s tonight.
Fuquay Varina only 2 losses this year. It lost to Apex Friendship in conference. As for the Wildcats, they've won 20 of their last 22. Who advances to the 3rd round? Stay tuned. We'll find out beginning next. North Carolina High School Athletic Association Class 4A state championships. We're in the East tonight, and we have a dandy of a matchup in the City of Oaks. Millbrook and Fuquay Varina. Wake County tussle here tonight. Here are the starting lineups for Fuquay Varina. The Bengals will start with Evan Rogers. Keep an eye on Myar Wall, the 6'8 junior. Darius Briley, along with Sheck Samora. Sonny mentioned him early. He's their leading scorer at over 16 points per ball game. And a real X factor, I think, tonight is going to be Ryan Maslow. 6'7", kind of unheralded. He's a guy that kind of does the dirty work of this starting 5 for the Bengals. Let's take a look at the Millbrook Wildcats lineup. They've won 23 in a row here at home, and they've got a pretty good 5 that they trot out. Silas DeMurray, the 6'4 junior, averaging 16. Chris Daniels, the senior, along with Redford Dutton. Red Dutton, over 21 points per ball game after suffering an injury early season. Sonny told you about Eric Vanderheiden. He's a 6'9 senior, averaging just under 20, but also 10 boards. And then C.J. Jordan. He's Charles, but we'll call him CJ here tonight. The 6'4 junior is a double-figure scorer as well. And there's a look at that Millbrook huddle. Boy, Sonny, you talk about a great basketball tradition. And somewhere in the middle of that fray there, inspiring his team and getting them fired up with a pretty sweet-looking shirt on. I like the way that Chris Davis is rocking the shirt here tonight in his 4th year.
He's 78-19. 4th year as a head coach here at Millbrook, but he's been a long-time assistant, so he's built this program up. And Millbrook, again, it seems like every year they're having outstanding seasons, undefeated so far here this year.
Carter Shoddy is the 26-year-old, or soon-to-be 26-year-old, head coach of Fuquay in his 2nd season. We'll tell you about him as his team controls on the opening tap here, the opening inbound, as it were, in the playoffs. And an early turnover, and that's something that Fuquay Varina cannot do in this game. They don't turn it over a whole lot in the year, just under 9 times per game, but they are dogged on the defensive end, and they get a steal.
And one thing they really have to focus on tonight is taking good shots. This is a really talented defensive Millbrook squad, so not only can they not turn the ball over, they've got to take high percentage shots.
Nice feed, cutting down the lane, the lay-in. Good by C.J. Jordan, and a quick early whistle. A note here for some house cleaning. Tonight's Westgate of Kia of Wake Forest starting lineups, WestgateCars.com. We will make you a believer for life. There's a good look at the 2nd-year coach, Carter Scotty. Not too many coaches are calling you and I sir. We're not that old just yet, but he's a really good young head coach on his second year of the job at Fuquay Varina. And there's Wall on a nice cut and hook shot.
Well, that was a back cut, using the pressure of Millbrook, and then going back door. Beautiful pass for an easy two.
Myra Wall, 13-10 in their blowout first round win, or in their close first round win, I should say, against Pine Forest. He was 6 of 7 from the floor. He's getting some low D1 attention, but starting to climb the ranks. Getting it back is DeMurray, and then he throws it away. Opportunity for Shimura, sends it off. Shimura chases it down. Out of the corner for three, Briley swishes it in. Darius Briley, 31% from behind the arc. And that's a West Shore Home three-pointer from Briley there. West Shore Home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. A whistle on the other end. And that's going to be Briley, who canned the three a moment ago out of the corner.
Patrick, this is a start Fuquay needed. Get off here, hit a couple open shots, get your confidence going. You know, Millbrook so far on the offensive end. You see Dutton, 6'7", Vanderheiden, 6'9". Those two guys have a height advantage, but with their talent, they're playing out on the perimeter.
DeMurray off the Vanderheiden miss. He usually is a 41% three-point shooter. And it's a close game here early. The Millbrook girls defeated Southeast Raleigh in the game right before this, so they advance as the 5th seed to the third round, 61-42. Here's a corner three off target by Maslow, and now in transition, DeMurray kicks it out. Set up his teammate Dutton, who could not hit from the corner. And there's a good look at Vanderheiden. Not a whole lot of rosters at the high school level can boast two guys averaging 20.
Yeah, and with that firepower, this Millbrook team, you know, they've got those two guys right near 20, but starting five, there's so much depth in their scoring ability. So if those two guys are getting double teamed, the other three remaining guys have the talent, especially driving to the hoop with their quickness.
Second Fuquay turnover of the early going here, and there is Chris Davis, who was a wrestler in college, actually got his start coaching, took a class to how to coach basketball at NC State, and coached his first team next door at the famed Millbrook Exchange Park all those many years ago. Vanderheiden lost his footing. Chris Daniels turns, shoots from 14. So Millbrook goes back on top. Man-to-man for the Wildcats. Foul line jumper, too strong that time. A tip at the cup. Wall could not get it to drop. And here come the Wildcats.
Well, Fuquay focused on that transition defense, only had one guy down there for the board. Four were already falling back to play defense. They've got to have a couple more guys trying to crash the boards.
Elbow jumper, no. Ball batted off the backboard. Dutton picks it up. In traffic, he'll get hacked on his way to the basket. I believe they're going to get Maslow, the senior, at 6'7", and they do. And now here comes Red Dutton to the foul line at 88%, Jeff.
Look at Dutton here, getting the loose ball. Look how physical he is, trying to fight through the contact, not able to get the and one opportunity to go to the line. But he's had such a good season. He had an injury earlier that he's battled through, and he'll be back here for the Wildcats.
And he is at the U.S. Coast Guard foul line. The U.S. Coast Guard, gocoastguard.com. Had a stress fracture earlier in the year. He's got the low tops going, Sonny, with the sneakers there. And he makes the foul shot. Shoe game is strong here tonight. Wall inside the foul line. Hung on the rim but wouldn't fall. What an offensive rebound and put back the work from Zamora. His first bucket.
And that's what Fuquay has to do. The dirty work down low. Millbrook not boxing out there. Samora fighting through there for a crease to get the board.
Wall digging in defensively. Here's Dutton. No look pass. And turnaround by Daniels. He's tough when he gets it in that 10-foot in range.
Yeah, he's a good player. All-conference performer. Start all 15 games this season as a senior. Such a good ball handler. Already you've seen a couple mid-range jumpers go in.
Wall floats a pass out. Neither one of these teams terribly deep. Wall for three, left it short. And now Dutton, who averages 6 pulls a game after that rebound, he'll bring it up, and a whistle en route to the hoop. Foul will be called on the Bengals. Free throws, or rather an inbound after this timeout. Early lead for Millbrook by 3 in the playoffs. WestgateCars.com High School Hoops Playoff Edition presented by West Shore Home. Millbrook inbounding after that last foul. Oh, nice find underneath. Little high-low action. Van Heiden into Dunton.
Yeah, that's the chemistry. The two seniors right there making eye contact. The back cut by Dunton.
3 on the other end. Briley hits his second triple. Nice jump stop. Left it short. Jordan underneath, and then a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Vander Heiden. It is. So that's Vander Heiden's first. Get free delivery on all your favorite meals through Wegmans Meals to Go for a limited time. I mean, that might be the dinner plan tonight.
That's our supper.
Absolutely. Fuquay hanging tough here early. Millbrook in the first round just took apart the New Bern Bears, doubled up the score on them. But this is a real tough Fuquay team. Another turnover on the Bengals. Their only 2 losses came by Apex Friendship. Sonny, they've lost a pair of games by a combined 13 points to one of the best teams in the state and one of the best teams in their conference. In fact, the conference champion. So they've done a great job. There's Carter Scotty there. He played at North Davidson, decided he wanted to coach at college, set up roots in the Triangle, but he's been part of that North Rowan basketball program in the West that has had success. They made the semifinal round a few years ago, and a little miscommunication that time between the 2 seniors.
Well, and what he's been able to do here at Fuquay, turning this program around. First time in 25 years they made the playoff. That's a great accomplishment already here in the second round. I've been impressed with his team coming out and being so aggressive on the offensive end, but the defensive pressure and the half-court defense getting back in transition, it's been top-notch so far.
Sonny, they have number 15, Jaden Bailey, out there out of the timeout, and there was some thought we might not see him because he was in contact tracing, but he's out on the floor. He's a 6'6" senior, and he does provide some punch for you.
Well, he's got the inside presence, and you talked earlier about the depth on the bench. They're only going to go about 7 deep, so him coming back, he can provide toughness on the inside. A guy that can come off the bench, get those down low points, and also just get more depth as we get in the fourth quarter. This is a tightly contested ball game. You're going to have to stay fresh.
Daniels from deep. He cans the 3-point shot, and that is a West Shore Home 3-pointer. West Shore Home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just 1 day.
I like how Daniels is looking for his shot. And aggressive, and it's hot from the outside.
3 on the other end. Nice clear out. Dunton takes the rebound. Into the game for the Wildcats. Jalen Donaldson, number 2. He's not a big scorer, but he's an energy guy. Little Euro step. Pretty finish in transition. Shek Samora. How sweet.
Samora was going at Heiden to get the second foul. No foul called. Very lucky. That was a good job finishing.
And a travel indicated by John Reese. He's out there with Bryce Check and Michael Brown. They're our officials here tonight. I'll tell you what, Jay, the Bengals have done a good job of digging in here on the road defensively.
They have. They're getting back and making everything tough for Millbrook. Really communicating well out on the floor.
All right, final 60 here in the first. Pump fake, Briley to the cup, the hoop, and some harm.
Look at this drive going in. Won by the first defender, getting the contact from Vander Heiden. I believe that's 2 on him.
Yep.
Strong drive.
Briley with 8 here early, the 65% free throw shooter at the GoCoastGuard.com foul line, completes the 3-point play. He's got 9, and we're tied. See if Vanderheiden can get going. The nice spin, but left it short. He fell to the floor. 3 by Wall. Count it! Myar Wall hits their 3rd from deep.
Transition 3, and Fuquay really feeling it from the outside.
And a determined drive by Chris Daniels. It's going to be the 2nd foul on Briley. So a little bit of foul trouble developing here earlier. Did they get Samora on the foul? I believe it might have been Samora. We'll double check that. If that's the case, that's his first, but a couple of foul shots here with 19.9 remaining. Daniels at 79% from the foul line. This is a really good foul shooting Millbrook team. As a team, Jay, they get there 22 times per game and convert 73%. So Daniels, he has 9 to match the Briley output on the other end. And it's a 1-point game here at the final 15 seconds. Behind the back action. Wall again for 3, this time too strong, although he got a 2nd bounce, and it's muscled up and in by Bailey. And a block of an attempt from midcourt. Very heady play by Samora. And don't look now, but a 20-point outburst in the first for Fuquay Varina as they're ahead in this 2nd round playoff game after 1 on the road. It's WestgateCars.com High School Hoops presented by West Shore Home, Fuquay Varina and Millbrook Magnet, and a good start for Fuquay Varina. They weathered a few first quarter storms and have hung in there, and they're playing with determination, no fear, as Demarius Briley has double digits for the 10th time in his career.
And right now they're getting into the lane. They can either shoot that mid-range jumper or they're driving and dishing, but they're using their quickness to get by the Wildcats.
Wildcats came in allowing just 50 points per ball game as Dunton lays it in for his 5th point. So Jay, to give up 20 in the first quarter, that's a big deal here for Millbrook. That time a little off target with the trifecta try, and the Wildcats clear. Feeling it is Daniels, too strong and crashing the board, but coming over the top, and that'll be the 3rd by our count on Vanderheiden. Jay, he's just not looked real comfortable here tonight.
Well, it looks like here he's going to come out of the ball game, and the ball going up here, he's being aggressive. I like the fact that he's trying to crash the boards. He's such a good player. He's one of the best players in the country, but that foul trouble, hopefully he'll be able to get a little rest here, and we'll see the strategy if Chris Davis tries to bring him back before the half.
Wall fouls, trying to chase down his miss. Think about what Chris Mack, the Louisville head coach, has done. He's come into Central North Carolina, has got Eric Vanderheiden, Chris Davis's 6'9" senior to commit, and then Bobby Pettiford with South Granville, who's playing 30 minutes up the road in the 2nd round against Farmville Central tonight. 2 stud players for Louisville. Tip up followed by C.J. Jordan.
Jordan averaged 17 points per game the last 2 ball games. Really good player, especially on the inside, fighting for boards and putting that one in.
He's been over 12 points per ball game since January 15th. Corner jumper, a little too strong by Rogers, who doesn't score a whole lot. And we have a whistle. That's going to go against Bailey, so that'll be Bailey's first personal foul. Bailey, who we didn't think we would see here tonight, so that's some great news that he's playing for Fuquay Varina. Bengals shoot 60% on the year. Millbrook 45% from the floor as a team. A little off balance on the drive by Daniels, and there's Dutton laying it in. Jay, sometimes, and star players will do this, if they're having an off night, they know they got to crash the glass and kind of do some dirty work, and Dutton stuck his nose in that time. Yeah,
and he's a really good three-point shooter, but you see him there chipping in on the glass. 6'7", he's got that frame. He's also tough.
And a whistle on the way to the hoop. That's going to go on C.J. Jordan, 4th on the team. C.J. Jordan, who had 14 points on 6 of 7, from the floor and 6 rebounds in their opening round win against New Bern on Tuesday. Three balls straight away. Ring it up for Maslow. His first field goal.
The coaching staff talked about doing all the little things. Maslow with the ball fake on the pass towards the left, moved the defender over, and that's what opened up the three-point shot opportunity.
He does not shoot the three a lot, but when he does, he makes it. Nice cut underneath. They got it to Silas DeMurray.
DeMurray, only a junior, but getting high major interest from college coaches. This guy's got one more year of eligibility coming back next year.
Square at 25. Wall. You can just tell Wall's got a lot of ability, and he's really kind of exploded the last few years on the travel ball AAU circuit. DeMurray on the post-up. Rogers couldn't contain it. He's a handful. He and Daniels are when they get it in the post as guards.
Millbrook's defensive pressure picking up.
They've outscored him 10-5 so far in the frame. There's a steal for a team that averages over 12. Dunton, leaner, couldn't kiss it in. Tried to tip it. And the Bengals come away with the rebound. The pass darted ahead to Maslow. And it'll be a turnover. Rogers got a little out of control, tried to do something a little too quick. Well, tonight's halftime report coming up. It'll be brought to you by Wegmans To Go. Get free delivery on all your favorite meals to go for a limited time. Stay tuned. Our Wegmans To Go halftime report coming up. Also nearing the midway to quarter timeout, which we've seen this year in high school basketball. Nice drive by Donaldson. Dunton tipped it in, kind of just volleyed it up there.
Dunton's winning on the glass.
And with that, the timeout will go ahead and be taken by Carter Scotty. So the second-year coach grabs a TO. His team down 4 on the road. Dunton doing the dirty work. Good look at Chris Davis, 81-19. His 101st game as the coach of Millbrook here tonight. Longtime assistant, well-known in AAU circles. And some full court pressure for Millbrook here. Jay, how is Millbrook playing differently, and you could argue a little more effectively, with Vanderheiden on the bench?
Well, what you've been able to kind of see is them going towards the paint and really attacking the glass and doing the dirty work, getting offensive rebounds. With that 6'9" frame out of the ball game, they kind of realize they're going to have to go and get extra opportunities when there's missed shots.
Wave it off. Briley, they go at him. That's Briley's second. He made his third three on the other end a moment ago, and another good drive by DeMurray. So he'll shoot a 1-and-1, 74% at the free throw line this year for the junior, who averages 16 and 5 rebounds. Also 4 assists and over 3 steals per ball game. And a high of 27 against Leesville Road. So he'll get the bonus here. 5 for him early. Against New Bern, he had 22 to go along with 4 rebounds and 3 steals in the first round. He is at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line, where he'll try to make the back end here. And DeMurray had it rim out. 2-point game. Good feed ahead and pretty slash. The finish, Zamora.
Zamora has that quickness. You saw he had the angle on the baseline. Help defenders could not make it over in time for the Wildcats.
We're going to get Rogers here on the drive by Donaldson. So the Wildcats in the bonus. A lot of what Millbrook has done here is they've just got downhill on that drive, Jay, and taken it to the rack, or at least in that direction. And the 5'11" junior gets his first point. It's hard to believe, Jay, that is only his 4th free throw attempt of the entire season. 3 for 3 before that miss. Wall kicks it in the corner. Here's Rogers. And Rogers from behind the arc, out of the corner. Jay, they've hit a handful of threes, and that not only has them in the lead, but that's kept them in this one.
Yeah, they're shooting them confident from the outside, being unselfish, making the right pass. On the offensive end, they've been efficient. On the defensive side, though, you can see how they're clamping down, getting back, not giving the Wildcats easy shot opportunities.
Answer on the other end, a swish by DeMurray. And he hits his 13th three ball of the year, a 43% shooter from beyond the arc. His team back on top. Wall. And he gets hit on the arm. Jordan tagged with his second. Jay, what do you make of Myra Wall's game? 6'8" junior, 13.5 points. He's kind of come on the scene here, starting to get some low D1 attention. And I have to imagine, as he continues to play well, in fact, he's gotten double-digit rebounds in 3 of his last 4 games. And you can just see him kind of coming into his own as a player. He's going to get more attention from a higher level as he goes on, I would have to imagine.
Well, when you're a college coach and you look at projecting players, he's a guy that you see the athleticism, the size. He's going to be able to put on a lot of weight, strength once he gets to college. Then you look at his game, he can play inside and outside, so versatile. So I think especially this summer, he's going to continue to pick up a lot of recruiting attention.
Travel as he was matched up on Dutton there. So Myra Wall doing it on both ends. And a little bit of an exacerbated furrowed brow there by Chris Davis. Maslow will show and go and finish with the left hand.
And that's the second ball fake he's used here. The second quarter, create his shot. One was on a three-pointer there as he drove in. He looked like he was going to pass it and went in for 2.
Red Dutton on the other end's got 11. And Jay, that's the 62nd time in his high school career that he's tallied double digits in a game.
Well, Dutton recognizes he's got to pick up some of the scoring load, and you see now early on in the ball game, he's standing up behind the three-point line trying to shoot outside shots. Now he's attacking the glass.
Numbers if they hurry. Daniels the jump stop, arced it up and in. And Chris Daniels now with double digits for the 11th time this season. Quickly the other end, pretty little lay-in by Maslow.
Look at the pace. Both teams going back and forth. Again, we talked about the depth. Not a lot of substitutions. So we'll see the condition in the third and the fourth quarter, which team can stay fresh. I love to see this pace, though, kind of pushing the tempo and putting pressure on the defense.
Maslow on his second, and Silas DeMurray will head to the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. Substitution here as Jarius Kopney checks in, the 5'10" junior. Millbrook only goes legitimately about 8 or 9 deep. But it's their starting 5 that are the main cogs in this wheel. .6'4" junior. And he's looking for his 10th point here. Double digits for the 13th time if he makes the foul shot, and he does. So DeMurray's got a good one going here. Millbrook was 14 of 23 from the foul line the other night against New Bern in the first round. Pressure this time, forces a turnover and a big collision. And that's going to be Briley's third here as they were trying to prevent that from happening on the Fuquay side of things.
You know, look at the effort right there. That's a collision. It's a car crash. Both teams, the passion. This is an important ball game. Going fighting for the loose balls. You know, Millbrook winning it. They're having position to get the foul called, but you love to see the effort.
So DeMurray, who has scored his last 3 in a row from the Anchor Auto Outlet foul line, will head back. And it rolled off for him. So Jay, the right to move on to the third round. The winner of this game will get the winner of 6 seed Apex Friendship. They were the champions of the South Wake Athletic conference this year, and upset-minded Richmond, who bumped off Heritage in the first round by 4, came into the Huskies' den and knocked them off. That's not an easy thing to do, especially in the postseason at Heritage. Win a road game.
Here's the zone press.
Steal. Dutton gets it back. Spins. Scores.
Wow. Millbrook turning up the heat. How about Chris Davis calling the zone press, leading to 2 points.
Bailey dragged it down. He tried to hammer it home. Put back up and in. Boy, some more. You don't have to run anything for him. He can get his points by just hustling. And they've knifed it down to 2. Daniels to the right hand. Tipped up. No, wave it off. A whistle, and they're going to get Jordan, I think, over the top. And that's Jordan's third. Well, stay tuned for the Wegmans to Go halftime report. We'll have it for you coming up. We'll have first half highlights and a lot more, so stay with us. Interesting, they have brought Vanderheiden back in to play the back end of the press in the final 30 seconds. Big gamble here, Jay. Especially as he has an offensive player drive against him on the baseline. Out of the corner. Rogers pulled his string.
And that just shows Chris Davis has confidence that he won't pick up that third foul, and they need a rim protector.
Gets the rebound here. In traffic. Had it stripped. Maslow. Dutton knocked it away. Maslow wanted a foul. Daniels for 3. Ring it up. The bucket by DeMurray at the horn. 46. Millbrook. Fuquay 41. And a fantastic flurry at the end as the Wildcats turned up the D. 3-point hit. They lead by 5 going into the half. You're watching the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops Halftime Report, the playoff edition. And now it's time for the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Riddle and Brantley is proud to present the MyRDC High School Hoops Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week. From Fuquay Varina High School, the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Evan Rogers. Evan is a 3-year varsity basketball team member, the top 1% of his class, an AP Scholar with distinction, and carries a 4.53 GPA. Evan is president of the National Honor Society, a member of 4 total honor societies, runs basketball skills training for children, and helped raise $14,000 as a team member of Lily's Lifesavers. From Millbrook High School, the Riddle and Brantley Scholar Athlete of the Week is Carter Lott. Carter stars on the varsity basketball team and varsity lacrosse team, is 4-year academic all-conference, and carries a 4.5 GPA. Carter is in Math Honor Society, a math tutor, a part of the International Baccalaureate program, and leads several volunteer efforts, including the 2020 annual sock sale.
Riddle and Brantley is proud to be a sponsor of the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Congratulations to these All-Stars, and good luck on your eligibility for a $3,000 scholarship at the end of the season.
Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident? Call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts.
Millbrook with a 29-point second quarter. They lead by 5 at the half of the second round of the playoffs. Well, we all know it's been a tough season for the parents of all these athletes, including the cheerleaders who have not had the opportunity, have the parents and family members to see their kids in action. So we'd like to take a minute and showcase the great job that the cheerleaders are doing in keeping their teams motivated and loved. Great job by the cheerleaders keeping the school spirit alive. A timeout. We'll come back. More of our halftime show after this. You're watching the Wegmans to Go High School Hoops halftime report. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sonalder. And Sonny, let's look at some of the first half highlights in this 5-point game at the half.
This is a fast pace first half. Both teams getting on the run. Fuquay from the start, long range, sharp shooting. Did a really nice job. Briley hit a couple, and then some of the back cuts. You see the quickness, putting the ball on the floor. They really put a lot of pressure on Millbrook.
Briley leads them at the half with 14, and they have hit a barrage of threes to stay in this game. But Briley with 3 from behind the arc, and then they took advantage of the transition, pull up 3 there, and boy, Samore has been as good as advertised. He's been a lot of fun to watch for Fuquay.
He has. He's attacked the glass. He's been very physical, and Fuquay's picked their spots when to run and then when to pull it back out. And then the shot fakes. See a little pass fake over, and Maslow knocked it in from the outside.
Wildcats are in a fight, and I think they absolutely know it, Sonny. And they got some good contributions, DeMurray, Daniels, and Jordan in that first half.
Yeah, those 3 really picked up the score, especially in the second quarter. You could see how talented this team is from the offensive end. Very efficient from the floor. And Dutton started getting hoops in the paint. You see here fighting, clawing, getting offensive boards.
Dutton with 13 at intermission, and he did a fine job of underneath muscling it in. A 29-point outburst in that second frame for the Wildcats, trying to win for the 24th straight time in this building. Second round action, and we will continue with second half action after this. Well, this gym has already seen a second round victory earlier this afternoon as the Millbrook girls blew it open in the second half to beat Southeast Raleigh. They've advanced to the third round Saturday. They will have to travel to Wilmington as Ashley has advanced the top overall seed in the East 4A girls bracket. So congratulations to those teams. Here the winner will get the victor of Apex, Friendship, and Richmond, as Millbrook will get the ball to start the second half. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sonalder, and our sterling crew in the truck here from Wildcat Gymnasium. Free throw jumper to start things after a good first half by Daniels. And I'm not so sure that Maslow didn't step out chasing that down in the corner. It looked like his foot was on the inline. Wall with the miss. And in transition, Samora gets called for the bump. That'll be his second. And it'll be an inbound opportunity here for Millbrook, Jay.
Let's see again, Millbrook known for going up tempo, fast break opportunity, getting contact, trying to attack.
Off the miss, Briley. Rogers, who hit a corner 3 in the first. Jay, Fuquay down 5. What do they need to do in this second half? Certainly not turning it over would be part of it, but I think defensively where they're going to have to make some hay here in half number 2.
Yeah, and on the defensive end, they're going to have to create turnovers themselves. They've been pretty good on the offensive end of protecting the ball. On the defensive end, I think we're going to have to see a little bit of pressure, maybe some double teams. Vanderheiden coming back here. The majority of the first half, he was in foul trouble. So the top offensive weapon for the Wildcats is back, so they're going to have to slow him down. I think create turnovers of their own to lead to some easy buckets.
Well, we've talked about how offensively potent Millbrook is, but don't sleep on this Fuquay team. They averaged 75 during the regular season and one playoff game in. Dutton now with 15.
That's a nice spin move to get the defense over on his left shoulder and then spin back towards the right.
Interesting is Jaden Bailey starts the second half here for Fuquay Varina. 3, head of the circle by Briley, too strong. Daniels a really good rebounding guard. Spins it into the corner, and it will be a basket. Hit on the way in, DeMurray.
DeMurray has that quickness. We'll see here, nice pass by Daniels, bringing the defender over. He had the baseline, and then that agility to kind of hop, get into the shoulder, and then finish. He's got power towards the hoop, that quickness, really good ball handler. And you can see why a lot of coaches from the college level, high major interests, have their eyes on DeMurray.
5 of 7 at the foul line tonight. completes the three-point play. That was Briley's fourth. He'll have to go to the bench. That's a tough call on Briley, who was there but was leaning just a little. There's the steal. Lay-in. Good by Daniels. Here come the Wildcats. And a timeout. Fuquay Varina down a dozen. 90 seconds into half number 2.
Look at the intensity. Chris Davis coming out, meeting his team out on the floor. And we saw Patrick in that second quarter towards the end, full court zone pressure that led to that momentum going to the halftime break. And then here, start off the third. Vanderheiden up here at the top, getting the steal, the unselfish pass for Daniels. On the defensive end, they are so good. They're known for their offense with their length. They can really turn teams over.
Millbrook Wildcats, champions of the Cap 7. And they normally win when they take the floor in this building. You know, we first met a few years ago, Chris Davis, or I did at least, when they made the regional final and lost to that really good South Central team. He's done a fine job, was in his second year, and it's kind of tough to take over for a coach that's so successful as he did. I think it helped that he was such an integral part of the program for all those years under Coach McGinnis.
Well, and he's been here through so many great teams, built such bonds with so many players. And I played against Millbrook in high school, and he was an assistant, so respected by his players. Simon Harris, one of my best friends, played at NC State, really close with Coach Davis. And, you know, he's continued that pipeline of star players.
Getting it back, leaving it short on the putback try was Maslow, but he got fouled. And that's going to be DeMurray's first. So heading to the stripe will be Maslow. Maslow at the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. The U.S. Coast Guard. GoCoastGuard.com.
Patrick, how about the first half for Maslow? Seen him hit some outside shots, get into the lane as well. 6-7 frame.
Will be his 9th point. You know, it's interesting, Jay. He's getting some D2 and D3 looks. He'll be a really solid and, if not spectacular player at that D3 or D2 level, I think.
But he will, and he's the guy. The potential's unlimited. A hard worker. He's going to put on a lot of muscle at the college level.
Oh, pretty no-look pass. It's good! Daniels, the Rainbow, found a pot of gold. What ball movement?
Yeah, unselfish passing. Vanderheiden here. No-look pass to Dunn. Second no-look pass on Daniels. What a finish. Huge first half. Big-time passes. 2 big men from Millbrook.
He's got 16. He had just 4 in the opening round. After turning it over, Fuquay Varina gets the ball back. And Wall. 2-hand flush. He's got 10. DeMurray off the window.
Now, that was good defense by Rogers. He didn't get the call at DeMurray.
Beg your pardon, that was Jordan, actually.
Jordan finished through the contact.
Jay, it's 13, and they really have just slapped him with the run here. And they're playing like they're down 13 instead of up 13. Hand check on Daniels. Jay, I just wanted to make a mention of one thing, and I did go back and I did some extensive research because, you know, you and I really put in the work when we game prep, and it's always delightful to be with the folks when you and I get a chance to work together. But I did check the scoring in this building, the scoring records, and only so far could I go before I couldn't find your name and I just gave up. Just so you know.
Well, I didn't know that you could even read, so I didn't know that you could see you could spell my name.
Oh, that one rattled down Maslow.
And I'll tell you, Fuquay in a dangerous position with these runs from Millbrook. And that was a big 3 to make this a 10-point deficit.
Well, they've gotten buckets that usually would stymie a run. A dunk by Wall, a 3-pointer that rolls in, but Millbrook's so good that they're just hard to stop when they're on a roll, and they are right now, like Dutton on that play. Scoops it in, and he will head to the foul line.
Dutton's good outside shooter, but tonight He's been attacking. Look at the crossover. And then getting into the paint. And one. He's a talented player, smart player.
And the lead back up to 13. Three is up, short, and we had a whistle. And they got Daniels there. I didn't see him near the play. Must have been off the ball. And that is the fourth. We'll make it the third here in the second half on the home team. Deep inbound to Wall. Well, we want to thank United Rentals for powering tonight's high school hoops basketball game. United Rentals, you're building the future. We're here to help. Woo! How about Wall? Used a lift to get to that one there, did Samora. Jay, they're going to need a little more out of Samora here, I think.
Yeah, and for Fuquay, the outside shots aren't falling the way they were in the first. They kind of have to do what Millbrook did. You saw them start to attack the glass. I think they need to drive into the paint here more, get some easy opportunities. We talked about turning up the defensive pressure. They need to also get some points on the fast break. Right now, everything they're shooting has been contested.
That's Wall. Dutton with the left hand.
Now Millbrook making the hustle plays. That was Dutton out hustling Fuquay. Nice pass by Daniels.
21st time in his career that Dutton has scored 20 points. Spent time at Heritage and then here. Missed the first part of the year with a stretch fracture. Fuquay down 13. They need to stop as much as they need anything now. Good ball movement, and the three is short by Vanderheiden. Jay, I don't have Vanderheiden scoring a point in this game tonight. That's hard to believe. Yet it's a 13-point lead for his team. 63-50 our count. Our Scholar Athlete is brought to you by Riddle and Brantley. Injured in an accident? Call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. WestgateCars.com high school hoops here in the postseason, presented by West Shore Home. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sunhalder with a little over 3 minutes to go in the third. And ever since that first quarter, boy, I tell you, it has been an offensive onslaught. 46 points scored by Millbrook so far in a quarter and a half of basketball since they trailed by 3 in the first.
They can turn it on. The first quarter wasn't their best offensive output, but then it was the defense that's really changed the game.
Samora to the left hand.
How good is he? Contested with the left, over the top, jump, stop, good balance.
Pretty impressive to shoot that one left-handed like he did on the go. Nice backdoor cut. Vanderheiden improves his position. Air ball. Tough night offensively for him. He's an interesting case. Obviously a great player going to play in the ACCJ, but he's the type of kid that after the game tonight, he's going to go find a gym. He's going to get more shots up.
He's one of the hardest workers on the team, and he's a guy that wants to be great. And offensively, he's a star, especially a three-point shooter. But tonight, I've been impressed with, he got into foul trouble, and it's tough having to go out of the ballgame. He's come back, played really good defense. See him there contesting the shot of Wall, and here hustling on the break.
A little blind overhead pass. Going to turn it over there as he was led too far by Dutton. Wall left it short. See what Daniels does in a one-on-one situation. Powers his way in. Tipped up and in by Dutton.
And look at the hustle, though, from Millbrook. 3 Wildcats. It was really a one-on-one situation, but after the miss, 2 more Wildcats coming back. The Bengals have to get back and help out.
The whistle. And it'll be foul shots upcoming here. Dutton picks up his first. Headed for Indiana, Fort Wayne, a mastodon will be the mascot of his future team. And to the U.S. Coast Guard free throw line. Maslow, who has 13. He's a 72% free throw shooter. And the 6'7" senior, who averages 12, has 14. The lead is 11. Fuquay Varina trying to hang around, but it's been the Red Dutton show for a lot of this one, but he turns it over. And on the other end, the layup by Samora.
I'll tell you, when Samora is on the run, you got to get out of the way. Good job sidestepping the defender to finish, and now Fuquay only down by 9, hanging in there, gaining some momentum.
Slicing to the basket and a foul called against the Bengals. Called for his second on a good determined drive by DeMurray. So Silas DeMurray Jr. to the stripe. Leaves it short. Yeah, a lot of credit to all these basketball players this year. I didn't know how wearing the face mask would go for the players during the game, but they have adjusted well with it. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, and be able to keep that mask on and exert yourself as they have all season, it's tough. And hats off to the players in North Carolina playing high school basketball this year at all levels.
They're fighting through it, and we talked about the conditioning. I mean, it's hard anytime to keep your conditioning up, especially in the fourth quarter, but this year they're doing it with the mask on. So hard to breathe. And you're right, a lot of credit to them.
Dutton with the block. Daniels draws the foul.
For Fuquay, they've got to control the board. Second chance opportunity. Daniels 6'1". See him here down low. Shot going up by Jordan. The guard going in amongst the trees to get the board.
They announced here that I think they said Samora is fourth. You know, Daniels is the only senior on this team that is yet to sign with the college. They list him at 6'1", and it's probably being a little gracious, but at a D2 or D3 level, Jay, and you see a lot of basketball at the college level, he could be a tough guard for somebody's program.
He's going to be really good. I mean, you see his aggressiveness on offense. How many guards do you see going in the paint, getting rebounds? He just did it there. The defensive end, he's been moving his feet really well, slowing down perimeter offense from Fuquay.
Wild three, not the shot they wanted. Daniels traveled. Millbrook only turns it over 9 times per game. They've cleaned that up here since early on. Tenth-seeded Bengals need a bucket here against Millbrook to close the quarter. 3 is off, and that heave will fall wide. Millbrook turned it up on the defensive end, the offensive outpouring, and they lead by a dozen as we go to the fourth. WestgateCars.com High School Hoops presented by West Shore Home. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Fuquay will have the basketball. And a 7-point advantage that quarter for Millbrook. They lead by a dozen as we start things here in the fourth quarter. Jay, some tough news today for the St. Paul's boys and girls program in the 2A playoffs. Because of COVID issues, they had to forfeit their respective second-round games. And boy, you just hate to see that the way this season has gone. These kids have done a lot to kind of stay within the program bubble as best they can, and that's another case of a team that had to forfeit because not only the boys program but the girls program because of COVID issues.
You feel for the whole team, but especially the seniors that aren't going to have an opportunity to compete here in the playoffs.
Nice drive, a little bit of contact. Here come the Bengals. They're in the black, Millbrook in the white in case you're just joining us. Fuquay had a 3-point lead after one. They trailed by 5 at halftime, and now Wall cuts into that deficit as we're in the fourth.
Wall is smooth. How easy he makes it look as he glided in there. The defense couldn't get in front.
They're not going to fold up the tent, Jay, and go quietly into the night. Millbrook's going to get pressed the whole fourth quarter here, I have to imagine. And the ball knocked away. Zamora trying to control. He gets taken out. Dutton for 3. Oh, what a tap on the rebound. Dutton in traffic. He's hammered. And I think Bailey's going to get hit for his third.
Well, what a possession for Millbrook. First of all, they recognized they had numbers.
Watch this.
They see the ball go up by Dunn. Vanderheiden. I mean, that's a high-level pass, no-look tip. Get his teammate an open shot opportunity. We've talked about his shooting ability, but it's the little things he does, unselfish player. Yeah, that enabled Dutton to get to the line.
Trying to match his season's high here from the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. And he will stay at 23. 11-point game. Wall in transition with the dunk. Actually, some more.
Millbrook didn't get back. Good look. Pushed the ball up the court.
Some more with a couple of dunks in this game. He and Wall are pretty effective finishers. And probably not the offense that Coach Davis wanted to start the quarter with.
Well, and you just get the feel for Fuquay. They've got a little bit of momentum here. This is their time to make a move. Make a bucket, defensive stand, and now ball possession.
Wall and 1. Maillard Wall with 13, and he'll have a chance to add to it going to the line.
Carter Scotty over on the sideline with a fist bump. Excited. His junior going in, getting the contact. He's so smart, recognizing the angle, the lane he had open, getting into the body of Millbrook, and the agility to finish.
14 as he cans it from the Anchor Auto Outlet foul stripe, and it's down to 6.
You see Wall here at the top of this zone pressure, that 6'8" frame.
That's kicked.
You know, it's so interesting how these coaches use their matchups to their advantage. We've seen Chris Davis use the zone pressure with Vanderheiden, 6'9", at the back of that, and then also up at the front, up at the top, and then Wall doing the same thing as well, trying to slow down the passing lanes.
Dutton strip, Wall, Zamora, pull up, pretty. 18 for Sheck Zamora. It's a 4-point game with 5:36 to go. Don't sleep on these Bengals. They want to continue this first appearance in the postseason in 25 years, another round.
And they're starting to get hot from the outside, shooting the ball confidently. And Patrick, we talked the first half about the depth and getting here into the fourth quarter. This is where the conditioning is going to take over. We'll see here both teams, how they kind of strategize their timeouts to keep their teams fresh. The Fuquay's on a run.
Winner will play Saturday against the victor of Apex Friendship in Richmond. If it's Millbrook, it'll be here. If it's Fuquay, they could host. If Richmond were to upset Apex Friendship tonight, or Fuquay could have round 3 with their South Wake Athletic Conference foe. Fuquay came in winning 5 in a row 11-2 on the year. And they held off Pine Forest on the road by 11. Enjoyed our visit with Carter Scotty last night. 20-18 in his 2 years at Fuquay Varina. They extend the defense a little bit. Jay, it seems like, too, they're making Millbrook start their offensive possessions in the half court deeper than they want.
They turned up the pressure. See the communication on the floor.
Daniels trying to stop the run. He's fouled. He'll head to the line.
Daniels can break you down. You see it here. Going through the first line defense. He is not scared of contact. 3 defenders on him and still able to finish.
That is Samora's 4th and the team's 8th. Daniels with 20 here tonight. A couple off, I should say. His season's high, now 1 off. He had 22 against Inlow in a game earlier in the season. 7-point game with 5 minutes to go. Every possession in this 4th quarter is going to be precious for the Bengals. And a hold off the screen. And now 4 on C.J. Jordan, the junior.
Darius Briley got a nice pick. Try to get Wall open. That's what forced Jordan to hold on.
Fuquay and Millbrook foul away from the bonus now, so they'll inbound. Check Samora. 3-ball up. 3-ball is in by Darius Briley, his 4th of the game. Westmore Home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just 1 day, and they bring you that 3-point hit. That's made it a 4-point game. Rebound taken underneath by Wall. And to the hoop, picking it up is Bailey. Got the loose change, and Daniels whistled for foul number 3. Let's take another look at that 3-point shot. Actually, that's the foul. The West Shore home 3-pointer, though, has made it a 4-point ball game. They can get it down to 2. Three for Bailey. He averages 7 and 3.6 rebounds as he's at the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw line. Two-point game. They were up 13. And the near steal on the wing.
And you see Fuquay turning up the pressure. That's where, if you're Millbrook, you can go back door or have an open lane.
Bengals survive the onslaught. They now are down 2. Can Wall and company spring the upset? Stay tuned. Fuquay Varina trying to spring a big upset here. This would open a lot of eyes around the state. 2-point lead for Millbrook here at home, and right now the momentum seems to be on the side of the Bengals. Westbrook has had an answer, or Millbrook I should say has had an answer ever since the first quarter. And they have Bailey down holding his ankle. Like he's going to stay in and try to walk it off there. DeMurray, tough finish.
Wow. Murray breaking down defenders all night long. One-on-one.
6th time with a 20-point performance from him this season. Let's see where Fuquay Varina goes to here. Wall goes up, blocked. Nice job to come over on the help defense, Vander Heyden. It's unbelievable. He's not scored a point tonight, but he's made a couple of plays late. And that one defensively that have left an imprint on this game. I'm sending that one back to DeMurray, and Silas DeMurray Jr. wasn't looking to the last instant. Nearing the 2-minute mark. Fuquay just trying to stay solid on defense. It was blocked at the rim, tipped out, but it'll come into the hands of the Wildcats.
They're holding the ball. They're icing the clock. Fuquay is going to have to extend this pressure.
Jay, they may have to start to foul. They do.
And that was a huge board by Vander Heyden to retain possession.
Well, it was a great defensive play. Let's take a look at it.
Daniels going up. And Wall.
See, I thought Wall got a piece of it on the way up. He just changed the shot, but then could not hang on. Great work by the gang of the truck. Daniels missed the free throw, normally reliable at near 80%. So a break there for Fuquay Varina. And the drive, nobody cut off Briley on his way to the basket. He's got 19.
How about Briley recognizing the help defense wasn't coming over, taking it all the way.
And that's going to be Maslow with the reach in. So now DeMurray, who has been to the foul line a lot tonight, but has had issues when he has gone at times to the Anchor Auto Outlet free throw stripe. And he gets the roll. Jay, it gets so quiet in here, you can hear the hum of the fluorescent lights. And it seems like it only gets quiet when DeMurray's shooting the ball. There's a little bit of ambient noise or chatter when everybody else is there. I don't know if they do that as a way to sort of keep DeMurray focused. You don't hear a lot of that noise.
Unfazed.
Yeah, 21 for him now. A timeout taken by Millbrook. Gives you a chance to sort of work on the golf whisper there a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, those two big pressure free throws, extending that lead to 4 points, putting a lot of pressure on Fuquay on the offensive end. They've got to convert.
Let's take a look at tonight's Westgate Kia of Wake Forest play of the game. And here it is, a pretty finish by Sheck Samora, who has 10 in the second half, 18 on the night. WestgateCars.com. We will make you a believer for life. You're a believer in Samora's potential now after tonight, aren't you? You know, he decommitted from the Air Force, and now he's in the mix for some other sort of low D1 level schools, and they're really all over the board. But one thing, when you look at the schools that are recruiting him, or we're told they're recruiting him, they all have stellar academic standards. So I mean, not only is he a tremendous basketball player, he's an extremely bright young man.
He's a great kid. Very smart in the classroom and smart on the basketball court with plays like that. Yeah, he's super athletic. And I think there's going to be a lot of late recruiting attention for a lot of these guys, because college coaches don't really know yet their status for next year, who's coming back with that extra COVID year and who's not. So there's going to be more scholarships opening up here as we move into the spring.
It's a different year recruiting-wise.
Samora.
So 2 free throws here for Silas, or rather for Fuquay Varina. For some reason, Silas DeMurray Jr. was approaching the foul line, and that threw me off, Jay. It'll be Samora instead. He's looking for his 19th and 20th points. And this is key because Fuquay could score here without the clock moving. So they bring Dylan Setzer in for fouls. Briley goes to the bench with 4. Also Maslow with 4. Zamora at 66%, bricked them both. And then a quick foul, only a second elapsed off the clock, so the junior Setzer, 6'4", 215 pounds, did what he needed to do, and that was commit a quick foul.
And pressure free throws coming up. Millbrook, 4-point lead. Dunn can knock down these free throws, stretch out this lead even more.
Dunton, 57% from the floor, 37 from 3, and 88 from the line prior to that miss. He's not shot a lot of free throws this year. He's now missed 2 in a row at the Anchor Auto Outlet stripe. Matches his season high. 5-point game, they've got to hurry. 3, and he's fouled behind the arc. So on that West Shore 3 attempt, it's going to result in free throws. Here's a look.
Look at his feet. We'll see if he's behind the line.
Tough to tell, but it looked like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniels with his 4th.
That was a mistake by Millbrook.
And Jay, this has been some unfortunate news for the Bengals at the line. They have been to the line now and had an opportunity to score from the stripe. They have only converted 1 out of 4. Going out is 4 fouls, Briley. Maslow at the line will try to make his second in 3 attempts here. 4-point game. Now a 3-point score.
All right, Patrick, do you have to foul here immediately, or do you let this the clock
No,
run
you
a
got to
little bit,
foul.
try to get a steal?
Well, you definitely get a steal. A.J. Bullock, by the way, a junior's checked in. And a quick foul there by Setzer. Sends Daniels to the line. I mean, you have to. And what you've got to hope is that Daniels is going to miss one here. His free throws do come with a little added pressure. Millbrook averages 78 on the year, and they will stay at 77. That foul shooting sometimes can become contagious, can it?
Another important one coming up here and make a 2-possession ball game.
Thing that Coach Scotty has done very well here is manage the offense for defense with Briley and Manslow here with their 4 fouls apiece. Daniels matches his high on the season with 22. It's a 2-possession game. They need a quick hit.
You don't have to have a 3.
Manslow tipped up and in. The follow by Zamora. He's got 20. And it's a 2-point game with 61 ticks remaining.
And still plenty of time. The drive here by Maslow, a one-on-one. Good defense by Vanderheiden. Then the follow-up, reading off the glass. Zamora is going over the top, knock it in, and you know, another situation coming out of the timeout here. You're going to see a full-court press by Fuquay.
Well, nobody put a body on him, and he's done that all night. Sheck Zamora has. He's hung around the rim and taking advantage of putbacks. One thing's for sure, he can finish at 6'4" anywhere around the cylinder.
So here, two-point deficit. Are you fouling immediately? Or are you going to try to go for a steal and try to trap? I'm going to try to trap here.
They've got the players in to commit fouls, and they're going to immediately, with Wall, who commits his 3rd, hit Vanderheiden and send him to the line. Vanderheiden is an 83% free throw shooter, 34 makes on the year. And he is yet to score in this game tonight. Boy, Jay, if you said Vanderheiden was not going to score a single point to this point in the ball game, Certainly, if you're Coach Scotty, you would take it because that would mean you're in the game or maybe ahead, and they're very much in the game here, now down 3.
There's that shooter's roll. Another huge one coming up here.
Jay, I don't think any time went off the clock, did it?
No.
Boy, what a break for Fuquay Varina. It's a 3-point game. Zamora. The drive. High off the glass for Maslow. 1-point game. Timeout. Bengals.
Fuquay relentless, not going away and inching back in this ball game. Millbrook not making all their free throws, and then Fuquay converting on the offensive end. Again, Maslow going one-on-one to help defender. Didn't matter. Look at the arc on this shot, shooting the ball over the top, hanging in the air. This team down by 1.
That was above the square, and he still got it to drop down. Jay, they could have very easily tucked their tail after the third quarter onslaught that they faced, but they dug in on defense, and here they are now committing late fouls, and this is being managed beautifully by Coach Scotty as far as offense or defense. Vander Heiden in a double team. He'll get fouled. It'll be 2 free throws on the other end. He split a pair a moment ago.
Fuquay going back to the mass substitution. 4 Bengals over on the sideline ready to come back in this ball game.
So Eric Vander Heiden. Twenty points per ball game on the year, 2 tonight. Had a very good opening round game of 15, 8, and 5 assists. And the Ravenscroft transfer will get ready to try to make it a 3-point game. And you don't need a 3 regardless of what happens here if you're Fuquay. 81-78. Zamora. They're going to tie the ball game if they make it, and they do not. Zamora, however, gets it back, loses it. And the arrow favors the home team, Millbrook basketball. Still a half minute to go, Jay. You'd maybe think they went for that a little too quickly.
You didn't need a 3, but if it's open, take it. Maslow, one of your best offensive players that didn't go in. Some more hustle for it, but now you're just going to have to execute your game plan here that you've been using for the past couple minutes. Foul, force Millbrook to make pressure free throws, and then convert.
So Eric Vander Heiden with 3 of 4 at the line here in the last couple moments. Jay, he could have very easily himself tonight kind of gotten inside his head. He wasn't playing well offensively, but he started to do other things to help his team win.
Not only is he talented, but he's very well-rounded. And here, pressure free throws, converting. Your team needs you the most at the end of the ball game. He's making it happen.
His 5 points represent the spread here. Zamora lost the handle trying to go to the basket, got ahead of himself just a little bit. What a great effort, though, from Sheck Zamora in his final high school game tonight. And he's going to foul out with 20 points.
What a player. He brought his team back.
12 of his 20 coming after halftime. 23 for Chris Daniels. A new season high for him. 24 for Daniels, 24 for Red Dutton. And Millbrook will take the timeout here, leading by 7 with 20.8 to go. Apex Friendship leading over Richmond by double digits at last count. So, Jay, that's going to be a heck of a game Saturday here at Wildcat Gymnasium. Millbrook and Apex Friendship.
Apex Friendship, they catch fire from the outside. We saw them last week. Unbelievable three-point shooting team. And this Millbrook team wants to push the pace as well, so that's going to be a track meet.
This Millbrook team with great tradition. They've got 10 juniors on the roster. So, Jay, they'll be back on an undefeated JV history. Did a lot of guys on this varsity roster. I think their JV team this year lost just one game. So a great feeder program into Millbrook here. And Chris Davis has had some talented teams, including this one. They start the clock. Ball knocked away.
For Millbrook, no fouls here. You don't mind giving up a 2. Defend that three-point line, but you cannot foul.
85-78. And to the basket, Briley, who had a great game here tonight in his final high school game, 21, which is 4 off his career high, set against Holly Springs earlier in the season. Another opportunity here for Vanderheiden. You know, you asked Coach Davis about some of the teams they've had here in Millbrook and where this one ranks as far as talent all time, and they've had some great players come through this gym and play over the years, Jay. And he didn't necessarily say this wasn't a tough team. He said this is probably one of the more skilled teams, but I think tonight they've shown some toughness.
They've shown mental toughness, especially here at the end. They haven't had a lot of close ball games, and Fuquay's pushed them to the end, but you kind of see that mentality that no give up, find a way to finish. They've done it, especially from the free throw line.
Bailey's dunk, the final points of the game, and it's a Millbrook win, their 24th straight here at home. And that's what you love about the game of basketball, and that is the players from both sides trying to lift up the opponent they just defeated there. A lot of great competition here tonight. Stay tuned. We will get set to wrap things up on our WestgateCars.com High School Hoops telecast tonight, presented by West Shore Home. (16-0) for Millbrook as they survive a 26-point fourth quarter by a very game Fuquay Varina team here tonight. 4-point win for the Wildcats here at home. They've now won 24 in a row. Let's send it to Jay Sunalder with the presentation of our High School Hoops trophy. Congratulations to Coach Davis and the Millbrook Wildcats advancing on to the third round. Well, all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful folks at Westgate Kia and Westgate Dodge Ram of Wake Forest who make these games possible for viewers at home like yourselves. We'd also like to thank our other great supporters for their contributions to our high school hoops on MyRDC 28, West Shore Home, Wegmans To Go, the U.S. Coast Guard, Anchor Auto Outlet, and Riddle and Brantley. And we especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support, Fuquay, Varina, and Millbrook Magnet High School. Join us for our next broadcast on MyRDC and CW22. It'll be the state championships, and it's coming your way Saturday, March 6th. For Jay Sunalder and our entire crew, I'm Patrick Johnson. Millbrook on to the third round.